Welcome to Climbing Together, the small business experience. I'm Beth Houtrow, founder of Climb the Small Business Book Club, and every episode I talk to a small business owner about a mistake that they've made and what they learned from the experience. Mistakes are inevitable, perfection's impossible, so let's embrace the mistake. And today we're so excited to welcome Nadya Tatsch to the podcast. Nadya, tell us a little bit about you and your business.
Beth, thank you so much for this privilege to be on your podcast. My name is Nadya Tatsch. My business is Coaching by Nadya, and I help busy professional women in transition, whether in their life or the business, to break through pain into power by building consistency with healthy habits. How we do it, we are climbing, I call it self-care mountain of life, by knowing what are our behaviors, our beliefs, identity, and then 3 pillars of health, the mindset, nutrition, and fitness. So we can gain that power in our body, in our mind, in our life and business, and live the life that we desire.
Well, that's awesome. That's wonderful and so important, especially in this modern era. So yeah, I love that. Nice. But we are here to talk about mistakes. So tell me about a mistake that you made as you were growing your business.
Oh boy, this is the first time I'm going to share this mistake. Are you ready? I'm just going to have to admit it. Making too much money and spending too much money. Well, no, let me clarify. Spending too much money and making some money. What does that mean? In fact, it was around the COVID where I quit my full-time job and I went full-time into my coaching career, which I knew I was good already at. And I was starting making more money, especially around COVID. It was all virtual and I'm virtual. It was very convenient for a lot of people. And I decided I need a copywriter. Oh, I need 2 copywriters. I have my copy on the website. I have my marketing. I need a VA to put my do my social media. I need someone to do my content or build my website. Oh, yes, I need a bookkeeper. I had 8 people at some point. That was the first 6 months of my official Coaching by Nadya business. 8 people, first 6 months of your business.
Wow.
And believe me, I lasted longer than normally. And only the end of last year, at the beginning of this year, I said, you know what? I'm running my business. Everything is working, but just feels like, the business is running you. You say you're running your business, but the business is running you. More than that, it's the money piece that it's just, I'm trying to hold it, but it's just like going through me. And honestly, to tell you, I ended up with $45,000 in debt.
Oh my goodness.
I was living, paying my own checks, my livelihood, paying business checks, and the money just like goes out fast.
Yeah.
The mistake is know what's the most important before you invest in your business.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because a lot of business owners go the other route and get no help. But there's that fine line between finding the help that you need, but not overspending. I can only imagine the stress that created for you. Did it impact your business, or were you just kind of able to keep working through it?
In the business, and I still catch myself, obviously we're all human beings, the way it impacts, you want it yesterday. When I hear from another coach, but I want it faster, I want it now, I want it yesterday. We push, we start giving specials, we start giving discounts, we start bending over, quote unquote, to accommodate the next client. And deep inside, it kind of feels, why am I doing that? By the way, there is another book, Never Cut Your Profit, something like that. And that just feels so not right. And in our coaching industry, we say, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if I am being so wasteful, not watching my dollars in my business, how can I teach being fit and weight loss and watching your calories and your diet in my business?
Yeah.
It just becomes, I'm out of integrity in this area of my life, not walking my talk. Not good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's really, and so how many people support you now? What did you end up with?
Bookkeeper and my website.
Nice. Yeah.
Well, may I say ChatGPT does help me too?
Yeah. I mean, I just think that means you're being efficient, right? I know a ton of people who are leaning towards chat GPT. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
It's part of our future or part of our right now. So you're just on top of things, I think. I know a lot of people who use it and then just tweak it, right, to give it their voice. And so, yeah, you can absolutely say that. I think it's probably pretty smart. Yeah.
Thank you. More to say, but I'm going to stick with your questions.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this podcast is brought to us by Climb the Small Business Book Club, and our two tenets are continual learning and community. Now, I know that you have a book that has meant something to you both personally and in your business. So what book is that?
So since we're sticking to this mistake, the book is Profit First. In fact, it's a structure. I used the book. So back last, how we do the New Year resolutions. I'm not a New Year resolution, but hey, I decided I got to get a hold of this. This is incredible. 45K in debt may become 50 really soon. So I opened this book again, and I started reading the book, and the way I was reading it is actually implementing step by step. What do I start with? I had someone who I talked here locally about Profit First. She gave me some advice, and I honestly started just doing it on my own. This step, that step. Oh, it's actually in my notebook. I had stickers of each step I need to be implementing. Let me see if I can open it real quick for you. And each week I will just take 1 or 2 steps, and I will just go with that step and keep it as my priority until it's done. And then I do another step, and then I do another step.
Oh, nice.
And if it's scratched out like a cross, that means complete. Then I open another page and I do that. So it becomes those tiny little habits. Speaking of building consistency and healthy habits, this is a healthy habit in my money.
Yeah.
I'm doing the same thing with my money as I'm teaching my clients in health.
Nice. That's wonderful. Yeah, it's a great book. And one of the things I talk to people a lot about is that what we tend to see publicized, what we see publicly is the revenue people are creating. They talk a lot about the revenue that they're making.
No.
And so it was so refreshing in this book for him to be like, revenue is not the whole story, right? Like you have to know what your expenses are, and profit should be your top priority. And so I'm sure, right, he talked a lot about those big businesses that we see that are succeeding are often very in debt. And so I'm sure in a lot of ways you recognized and saw that, right, and had experienced that. So I think it's so great that you found that book, because it is such an essential lesson that profit has to come first, not revenue. And so, yes, I think that's a great book. We've talked about it in book club, and I think anyone who's starting their business should pick it up and start with those fundamental lessons as they're growing their business. So yeah, I love that you mentioned that book. All right. And our last question here is just to talk about community. How have you built a community of other entrepreneurs around you that have helped support you or motivate you, listen when things are good or bad?
Wow, there's so many places I can go. I'm thinking about the community of my own health and wellness as clients and me as a coach. And I'm also thinking about the community of like-minded professionals, like our business network, coaches, mastermind. And now in my community of health and wellness, that was really interesting how it showed up. That was still during the COVID time. I sent out a survey, and I did some one-on-one calls, and I was asking my clients, what am I helping them with? And then over the time, what came to be very clear that it's the community. I'm helping them with the consistency, but they are doing it together as a community. That's why, like the 3 levels I have in my business, I have the private group and subscription, but it's the same power club where we support each other in those daily healthy habits, whether it's workout or choosing a plate of greens. And in fact, for me, and I always tell it, I do the wellness, well, I love it, but I also do it because I need it. So it's my own accountability to myself. Yeah. And the community of like-minded professionals just to help me move forward, to engage me in what's the next step, to challenge me. Like I have our coaches, we call our mastermind Scale Up, from this level to the next level of our business development. And in our business network, right, we come in and we just find like-minded, we ask questions, we support each other. It's so good. Otherwise, you feel like you are for yourself, by yourself, and it's lonely.
Yeah.
No, we are designed to be in community and connection and communication.
Absolutely. Yeah, masterminds are really, it seems like, growing in popularity these days. And there's such a great way to have people to lean on intentionally, right? Like you said, to ask questions, to get help and support, and to build those strong bonds so that even if you're not necessarily in the group meeting, you can go back and lean on those people and ask some questions. So to all our listeners, look for masterminds. They're great ways to build community and really get support to grow your business. Well, Nadya, that's our podcast today. Thanks so much for joining me.
You're welcome, and thank you so much for having me.
This podcast is brought to you by Climb the Small Business Book Club, where entrepreneurs go to learn, discuss, apply, and grow. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to subscribe at Apple, Spotify, or Google Podcasts, or follow us on Instagram at Climb Book Club. And always remember, mistakes are inevitable, perfection's impossible. So let's embrace the mistake.